Hey friends! Hello! This video today is brought to you by my 7 a.m. time slot on Saturday that never booked. So I've got 20 minutes till my next class. Let's dig right in. I am reading from Parenting Teens with Love and Logic. And this is chapter 2, page 35. Let's dig right in. And excuse my nose, I have seasonal allergies going on. Okay. All right. Love and Logic parenting. Will it work with teenagers? I think it does because they wouldn't have written this book, right? While putting some laundry away, Amy stumbled onto her son's stash of marijuana by accident. I was so shocked, she later said. I just didn't know what to do. My day was ruined. I was depressed beyond anything I can explain. She knew she needed to confront the issue, but she didn't know what to do or say because she had removed the drugs from Mark's room. Because she had removed the drugs from Mark's room, she knew she had to put them back in the same place? No. Or had to talk to him soon. He would know they had been discovered. Amy's inclination was to return the bag to its original place. I know parenting styles are different, but I would never do that. I would have to check myself to not be livid in this situation. I would have to calm myself down to not be irate. I would never put the drugs back, but that's just me. You know. Amy's inclination was to return the bag to its original place so she would have time to talk to someone who would give her advice. However, before she could act, Mark returned to the house and walked in on her while she had the bag in her hand. Needless to say, they were both shocked. There she stood in the kitchen with drugs. Mark stuttered out something that sounded like, "It's not what you think, Mom. That's not my weed. I'm just holding it for a friend." At that point, I would teach a kid that if you're holding the drugs and you get caught, it doesn't matter if they're someone else's. It doesn't matter your intentions to smoke them or not. If you have an illegal drug in your possession, the police aren't going to care whose it is. I would then explain about the kind of friends that you make, because if you're in the car with someone who is doing illegal behavior, you're an accomplice and you go to jail too. So time to get new friends, bud. Sorry. That's my 2 cents. That's not what the book says. Amy managed to respond with, "I've heard that one before, and it doesn't matter. Drugs are not allowed in this house. I'm going to have to do something about this." "What, Mom?" "I don't have the slightest idea. This is such a disappointment. This is so serious. I'm going to think about this for a while. Take this bag and do something with it. I'm so upset. I have to go to my room. I'll talk to you another time." Oh my goodness, I would not have given the drugs back to my teenager. This lady's parenting tactics are definitely not the same as mine. Me, I would have to calm myself down from getting angry. That's just me. Or crying. I would probably blubber all over my kid. Amy agonized for the rest of the day, talked with some of her friends, and called one of the counselors at the high school. At the end of this time, she still didn't know what to do. She just became more upset about the situation. Mark came to the dinner table, but he could not look at his mom. There was silence throughout the meal. When dinner was over, he offered to do the dishes. Amy realized this was a little unusual. He usually took off to escape to his computer. She later said, "I think he was trying to do a little damage control and soften me up." While Mark worked with the dishes, he asked again, You haven't told me what you're going to do about that problem. What's going on? Amy's response, thought of nothing else since I've thought of nothing else since I found your stash, but I don't have any idea what to do. It's been horribly upsetting me. I have to tell you that I'm so unhappy I can't even put it into words. She continued, the thing that saddens me the most is that at your age I can no longer protect you from your bad decisions. I can't stand between your bad decisions and what the world has to offer for those decisions. So I guess your bad decisions are just going to have to be your bad decisions, and the consequences for those decisions will have to be your consequences. You are the one who will have to deal with them, and my heart will ache for you. She went on to tell him that she wasn't going to do anything about the marijuana other than tell him it could never be in her house. Amy went to bed a heartbroken person. She couldn't sleep, so she got up and went into the living room to try to read. Before long, Mark came to her with his bag of marijuana. Mom, I'm going to bury this stuff in the backyard. Why? I told you I'm not going to punish you. Mom, when you told me you could no longer stand between me and my bad decisions, and what the consequences might be, that really scared me. If you're not going to worry about that, I decided I'm going to have to. That's awesome. Good reaction. Not every kid would have reacted that way, but that's great. Standing on their own 2 feet. Remember how eager we were to see our children walk for the first time? We hovered over each one, armed with a camcorder, recording baby's first steps for all time. Then, once they were off and running, full tilt. They ran around the kitchen, shaving it close around corners. They ran around the house, always veering toward the head of the stairs. They ran across the yard and down the block with grown-ups in hot pursuit. We were proud, if not a little terrified, to see how quickly they became mobile and demanded to go their own way. Now they're teenagers. Have they finally slowed down? Just long enough to ask for their driver's education lessons and the keys to the family car. They're off and running again. Excuse me. As they shift the car into reverse and head down the driveway. But they're not just driving out of the garage. They're about to drive out of our lives as they disappear with a puff of exhaust blowing back our way. We hope they have the smarts and responsibility to make it on their own. How should parents use these last few years to prepare their teens for leaving home? How do we prepare them to live as independent adults? No parenting strategy is foolproof. However, we believe that wise application of love and logic principles will increase the odds of raising responsible teenagers who will leave home competent to face life on their own. But before we present an overview of the Love and Logic way, first, let's look at 2 familiar parenting styles that almost guarantee gray hair or no hair at all. Helicopter parents. We're on page 37. I've got a few more minutes. Helicopter parents. Helicopters are exciting because they make a lot of wind, noise, and vibration. And they don't go very fast, except for jet-powered attack helicopters, which we will discuss later. Maybe that's a different parenting style. Their place in the world is to hover, rescue, and protect. Emergency response teams couldn't function without them. But what if the helicopter hovers overhead when there's no emergency? Then it's a problem. When parents insist on hovering overhead to provide constant protection, it's a nuisance. It can even hinder normal life. We call those who use this approach helicopter parents. They stay close by in order to rescue their children whenever a problem arises. And to get a good look at helicopter parents, just visit your local middle or high school. You'll see them hovering in and out the front door, carrying field trip permission slips, homework assignments, band or orchestra instruments, and coats. Helicopter parents watch for their beloved offspring to send up a signal flare, and then they swoop in to shield their children from parents, playmates. I've been recording this whole time with my headphones plugged in and sitting over there. I don't even know if this video is working. Okay, so we're on page 38. I'm going to stop there and check if my sound is terrible.